Quilty friends, welcome back. We're in month 6. Month 6, that means we're almost there. This is an 8-month block of the month. Next month you will make more blocks, and month 8 is putting it together. So we're getting really close. Okay, so month 6, we're going to make a block that looks like these. We're going to make 6 of them. So what we're going to do is, first of all, be sure that you follow our cutting directions. It's very important this month because we're going to use the Tucker method, and that means we're cutting some of our squares a different size than the size that the regular directions tell you. So be sure you're using our cutting directions. Okay, you're going to do steps 1 through 3 exactly as written, and you'll end up with some 4 patches. You did these 2 months ago, so you're very experienced because you made a lot of them 2 months ago. So 4 patches, that's easy. Step 4 you are going to do, but you will be doing it with a 6-inch block, not a 4 7/8" block. So here's what you have. You have a 6-inch black block, a 6-inch white block, and a 6-inch block that's a color. The black and white will stay the same for all 6 times that you're going to do it. The color will change every time so that you end up with 6 different blocks. And what we're making are these points. Okay? All right. So how are we going to do that? We're going to use the Tucker method. First of all, how did we decide to use 6-inch blocks? You use your regular Tucker method. What you want to make are combination units, so you just cut it like you would for regular Tucker combination units. The only thing is we can't follow this method.
So that was the chart.
That's the chart from cutting that came with your Tucker trimmer 1. Okay? All right. What we're going to use is a technique sheet made by Tucker called non-mirror image units, because what we need is we need 4 exactly the same. Normally when you do the Tucker method you get 4, but 2 are one way and 2 are mirror imaged. So we need 4 non-mirror imaged units. So we're going to use this method. Okay, if you would like to have this technique sheet, it's for sale in the shop. I will show you here how to do exactly what it is you need to do for your block of the month. So step 4 tells you to cut it on the diagonal. Remember, you'll be using a 6-inch block, not the 4 7/8" block that the directions tell you to use. So I've already cut mine. So now what you have is a black that's cut in half, a white, and on the white you're going to use your magic wand, and you're going to draw the lines in both directions. So you kind of look like you have a cross on it, and then you have a 6-inch block of color. This color will change every time. The black and white will stay the same. If you're looking at the Tucker non-mirror image technique sheet, you'll notice you need a number 1, a number 2, and a number 3. Number 1 is always black. Number 2 will always be white. And number 3, the color will change every time that you make this, because each time you make it, you'll get 4 combination units to put into your block. Okay, so let's do it. I used my sandpaper and my magic wand to draw this on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put this right sides together, the white block with the colored block, and I'm going to sew on these lines. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew down the right side, across the middle, and down the left side. And I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do that again, so down the right side, across the middle, and down the left. Okay, so you watch. It's not hard. Okay, what I did is I put some turquoise thread in my machine so that you could see the stitching. Okay, and just think right, cross, left. Okay, remember your stitch length should be at 1.8. And we want to sew down the side. So I'm sewing down the right side. And when I get to the center, I'm going to cross over. And now I'm going to sew down the left side if you need one more stitch. And I'm off my line. Don't do that. Now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna turn it once.
Hold on, can you show what you just did?
Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna turn it, and I'm gonna stitch down the right side. Across the middle. Now down the left side. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, now I'm gonna cut on the diagonals.
For the record, if this wasn't a video, she would fix that where she's off the line.
I would, but we're just gonna go ahead, because I'd also go get a new blade.
Yeah, I know.
And now here. And my little point that I sewed to gives me a great way to cut this down the middle. I definitely need a new blade. I'll try pressing harder. There. Okay, now, what you have, whoop. See, these are 4 exactly the same, which is what we need for this month's project. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna press these open. Now be careful, you don't want to, okay, you have to take out a few stitches. Just pick a few and leave that tail of thread there, don't cut it, because you don't want your stitches to come out. Okay, now to finish it, we're going to take this and we're going to line it up in the middle. You can actually find the exact middle if you want, but quite honestly, you should be able to kind of figure exactly where the middle is. I need to go this way a little bit. And be careful, because you don't want that middle to come out. Okay, and now I'm going to sew at a 1/4 inch. So I need my 1/4 inch foot.
It's lined up here. The point and the seam is lined up, and
Okay.
she put a pin in.
Got 1 pin in so that I don't lose my middle. Over here. Okay, now, you want to be careful here. You do not want to stretch this. Okay, you're sewing on a bias seam, so you don't want to stretch this. You just want to let the machine gently take it through. Just be sure that you keep your seam open here. And now, you see, if we do the same thing, we need more black squares, I see. You need 2 black squares, not 1, I'm sorry, that you're gonna cut on the diagonal. So if I did the same thing here, I would have exactly the same unit, same thing there, so I would have 4 exactly the same. Now we have to tucker trimmer this. Okay, and I'm gonna press this
While she's pressing, I want to show you because I didn't get a good.
toward the dark side.
You have to take these stitches out, and then you don't want to, what she was trying to say, and I didn't get a good shot of, was you don't want the stitches to come back past this black line because then you have a hole in your finished
Right,
block.
the other thing I didn't do is I didn't cut the tail off. I just took them out enough so that I could press this seam open, and I left the tail. The other thing you can do is you can press them to one side if you prefer, and then you don't have to do this. You just get a little bit smoother look to your block if you see. I'm just going to pick them out like that. And now I can press this open. Like I said, if you want to, you can press them to the side, to one side, if you don't want to bother with that. And you'll need 2 black blocks, not 1, I'm sorry. Okay, and I'm going to move this over a little. Because see, I can tell it's centered down here. Okay, and now I would sew this. And again, don't stretch this, just let the machine very gently pull it through. Keep your edges together. Okay, and I would press this way because then that's less bulky here. Okay, and now we have to use our Tucker trimmer, which I have to go get mine. Forgot to bring it. So let me get my Tucker trimmer. And see, what you're going for is you will end up with 4 blocks exactly the same. And that's what we want.
While she gets her Tucker trimmer, I'll vamp. I personally think this is amazing. If you pulled that too far back, that you'd have a hole right here. So it was really cool. That's why you left the tails in too, because then when you sewed this seam, you sewed over it. There you go. You could also tell knock knock.
Okay. Now we use our Tucker trimmer, and we've done this before. And I would do, I think what we're trimming this up to. I think 4.5. We're going to trim this to. So your 4, what I'm going to do is put the equator. Only we got to use the half one because we're going to 4.5. The equator along between the color and the white and the 4.5. See the 4.5 line? On the black. Okay?
Hold on. We got a glare.
Okay.
There you go.
And we're going to do 2 sides. Oh, I was looking for my Tucker trimmer. I should have found another. Rotary. Okay, and then remember, rotate it. And now the 4.5 line goes along the black. And these lines go.
There we go.
Okay. And we're going to trim. There's definitely a bad spot on this blade. All of you are taking note not to sit at this station. No, I'm going to change the blade. Okay, one more time. The equator up between the color and the white, the 4.5 line along the black. We're going to trim.
You trim a lot off of these.
Well, I cut these generously so nobody'd have any trouble. and then the 4.5 along here. And these lines line up, and look, see, it's going right into the corners. That's what we want. I knew I wouldn't make it across there. There. Okay, look, see? Where our seam lines go right into the corners, and that's what we want, so that this will go into our block very nicely. So we would end up with 4 exactly the same, just like this, and then they get arranged around a center block of the same color. And they get arranged like this, and then your 4 patches go around that, and you sew it together. So this month you only have to make 6. Much better than last month. Okay, see you again soon.